18th of May, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos.
Right. Thank you, Lou. Sorry. But Tomer, it should be said, Yisrael Zeh Archa too. Yisrael Hasir So Me'al Panav. After that, you would say, after Klal Yisrael sinned, Hasir So Me'al Panav, that they would be cast off from before Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Oh.
So we're saying that the Torah is not a reason for Hashem choosing us.
Basically, that meaning the choice of Klal Yisrael, the election of Avraham Avinu, and the choice of his offspring, you have to understand how this relates, because he's going back on his previous statement. Maybe it's worth reviewing that statement. One second. Okay. The question to the morals in the middle of dealing with it here is, what was the the cause of the election of Avraham Avinu and Klal Yisrael as his offspring to be the chosen people? Now, we've been saying constantly from the very beginning of this that Kadosh Baruch Hu's Ava for Klal Yisrael Zeina Toli B'Davar, and therefore Avraham Avinu's election to be the leader, the source of the chosen people, Klal Yisrael, is not dependent upon his righteous acts, his tzidkas, as we see that the Kadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Avraham Avinu in the Torah without any introductions of the praises or advantages or virtues of Avraham Avinu were not mentioned before the command of Lech Lecha. So that's an indication that the Kadosh Baruch Hu's election of Avraham Avinu was not because of the tzidkas of Avraham Avinu, because otherwise that would have been an ava, a relationship between Klal Yisrael, between Avraham Avinu and Kadosh Baruch Hu, because of the righteousnesses, the virtues of Avraham Avinu, and the virtues correspondingly of his children. When we know that the Kadosh Baruch Hu's ava to Klal Yisrael is an ava she'ena toli b'davar, it doesn't depend on anything. Because if it would depend on something, that if it would depend on the tzidkas of Avraham Avinu, then the tzidkas avos could end, perhaps. And or if it depends on the righteousness of the Klal Yisrael, it could be that when we're not righteous, then there wouldn't be love for Kadosh Baruch Hu. But we know that the love of Kadosh Baruch Hu is enduring, and forever. So it's not therefore totally, it's not dependent upon anything. So then the question was, what in fact was the reason for Klal Yisrael and Avraham Avinu to be picked? There must be a reason. Or Maral says, anything that happens in this world, there must be a siba, a cause, and a tachlis, a purpose. So if a Kadosh Baruch Hu is choosing Avraham Avinu, he's choosing Klal Yisrael, there must be a reason, a tachlis, a purpose for it, and there must be some cause for it. So what is that? So therefore, he picked up over here. Let's check. Let's go back. You see in paragraph 8, the third line, it says Avo davar zeh nira medivri chachamim. This thing appears to be apparent from the words of Chazal. You can pick up if you want to continue on, Mary, from this ki sheish shlosh sibos.
Okay, so ki yesh shalosh sibot asher heim hayu mechayavot habechira azot asher bahar Hashem yiparak b'Yisrael.
So we have three reasons that are apparent from Chazal why Klal Yisrael was chosen. Go ahead.
Okay. Vasibot elu ein lahem temura klal velo bitul klal.
Can I interject a question?
One second. Hold on. From Nor, there can't be any substitute, and it can't be nullified. These three reasons, there's no substituting them, nor can they be ever be nullified. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's your question, Lou?
So you said the schus avos would be nullified. What does that mean? What is schus if if the choice is not based on the righteousness of Abraham, then when you say schus avos, what are you talking about?
There is a aspect of schus avos, meaning the righteousness of Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu. Their righteous acts earned us for a certain amount of time and a certain amount of circumstances, special protection. That in certain situations, even if our own merits may not be enough to cause the Kadosh Baruch Hu to do something, because we have schus avos, Hashem will do it anyway, even though we ourselves may not be worthy on our own. Right? Okay. Just like Lamashal, if you have a person has a very good friend, he loves his friend dearly, and this friend of his has a son, and the son's not so great. And really, the son should have certain things happening to him, right? And let's say the son gets himself in trouble with the law, and he's found to be trafficking drugs or something like that. So, and this friend that he loves the father of the son very much, and he knows that if the son's going to get convicted for this crime, and he should really be convicted for this crime, the father's going to be very much upset and pained because of it. So this friend of the father, since he has connections, so he makes a few phone calls, and he gets the son off the charges. He takes the charge was dropped from the son, not because of anything the son did. The son did wrong. He was deserving to be put into penitentiary for a good 25, 30 years. But I simply got off the hook because of the relationship that the father had with this other fellow who loved the father very much, and the friend didn't want to see his friend, the father, in pain and sorrow because of the situation his son got himself into. So likewise, Kadosh Baruch Hu, many times Klal Yisrael on our own, we would not have the merits on our own to be saved in certain situations. So Kadosh Baruch Hu, because of his love for the Avos, he adds those schusim to our almost non-existent schusim, so to speak, and we'll do things for Klal Yisrael, not because of our own sake, but because of the sake of the Avos. That's a whole different aspect of what we're talking about here. Here we're talking about the Ava, which is Einatali de Badava. So, because if it had been that the election of Avinu and the chosen status of the Jewish people was based on schus avos, it could come to an end at one point. The schus avos may come to an end.
Right. But you're saying the schus avos is not based on anything? in your muscle, you're saying that he loves his friend, the father.
Mhm.
You're saying he loves him for no reason? When you talk about merits, I mean, a merit, my understanding is a merit comes from something. It's not just we have merits because of the Schus Avos for no reason.
The merits come to Klal Yisrael for no reason except because they're the offspring of the Avos. That's all.
Right, but why do the Avos have the power to convey the Schusim? There's no reason for that?
It's just logical. The Kadosh Baruch Hu, in wanting that the Avos should have, we said that Avram Avinu should be buried with save upon him. He should have a ripe good old ripe age. Kadosh Baruch Hu was willing to take 5 years off of Avram Avinu's life that he shouldn't see Esav go Lataris Raw.
And that's a
So
schus?
things are happening to Klal Yisrael because of the Avos, not because of our own self, because of our own actions. Okay, but let's continue on.
With no,
Ki yesh shlosh sibos asher hen chayaves bechira hazos. In paragraph 8.
oh, hold it. Where do we leave? Levito klal. Okay, asiba rishona hi haTorah asher efshar mibal ada.
The first cause, the first Siba Rishon is the Torah. Asher efshar bilada. Without it, it's impossible. The whole situation is impossible without the Torah. And the first cause of the election of Klal Yisrael and Avram Avinu is because of the Torah.
Okay. Ki me'achar shehashem yiparach bara ha'olam hazeh birtzono muchrach gam kein lenetinat haTorah hazot liYisrael.
Right? Because Baruch Hu created existence through his will, and Mukhrach, an absolute necessity, is also that the Torah be given to Klal Yisrael.
Is that the second cause?
Excuse me?
Is that the second cause?
This is the first.
That's still the first line.
As I said, this is the first, because it's all based on Torah. That the first cause is that since the universe, existence is created through the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there was a Ratzon that the Torah had to be given to Klal Yisrael. So therefore, this is a Siba, the first reason for the election of Avram Avinu and Klal Yisrael. That brings us to paragraph 9. Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, so continuing, v'natal mehem Torah asher natan latov lahem.
Now, we have to say, based on the necessity of the giving of the Torah, and corollary to that is that the giving of the Torah was not for the benefit of Klal Yisrael, neither in this world nor in Olam Haba. Because if that would be the case, if the reason for the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael was benefit them, so then if Klal Yisrael would sin, then we would be cast off from before Kadosh Baruch. You would say we would, in that case, we would then be cast off from before Kadosh Baruch. And when not mehem haTorah asher nasim l'tov lehem, and it would be taken back from them, the Torah that was given to them for their benefit. If Kadosh Baruch wanted to benefit Klal Yisrael by giving us the Torah, so that benefit would exist as long as we're behaving ourselves. But if we would cease to behave ourselves, the Torah by reason of it was given for our benefit, it would be taken back from us. And we know that can't be. When not mehem Torah she'nosim l'tov lehem, and it would be taken from them, the Torah which is given for their good. Go ahead, Mayor, continue on.
Okay. Ki davar zeh ve'arnu briot
Birayos.
Okay. Me'od b'chibor hatiferet. Ki netinat haTorah hi l'ol al Yisrael.
That we explain this with clear proofs, with many clear proofs in the Hebrew and the Sefer Tiferes Yisrael, in Pierke over there. They will tell me, we'll have a chance to look at it. The giving of the Torah was a yoke, was a commission that was given to Klal Yisrael.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Amram Zecher Livracha Eruvin. Okay. Mitzvot Lav Lehanot Netano.
This is a statement in Chazal in the Gemara in Eruvin. Mitzvahs lav le'nesna. The mitzvahs were not given for our benefit. That's an open statement in Chazal that the mitzvahs, that Torah has not been given to us for our benefit.
Okay, that's in Eruvin, huh? Lamed Aleph. Okay, let's see. Umashe Amar Katuv, and this is from Devarim, Tzavunu Hashem Elokeinu la'asot et kol hachukim ha'ele latov lanu kol hayamim.
Lo yistor yesod zeh. And that which is written in the Torah in Devarim, Mitzivanu Hashem Elokeinu la'asos kol hachukim ha'ele latov lanu kol yamim. And Hashem Elokeinu has commanded us to do all these statutes, l'tov lanu, for our benefit, all yamim, all our lives. Lo, this story is so deaf. It does not contradict this principle. Okay. On one hand, you say you have that mitzvahs lav ne'nehu, and on the other hand, you have a pasuk in Devarim that says they were given l'tov lanu. So how do you reconcile the two statements?
Okay, let's see. Lisa to so okay. Kimo she be'arnu l'shem ba'arichot ki bevadai shekach hu ve'emet she'atorah hi latov lanu.
First of all, you should know that the truth is that Vanai Shekat Emes Torah Tovam. You should know that the truth is that the Torah is good for us. Torah is very good for us.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. Aval techila natat. No, I'm sorry. Nitinata el Yisrael lo hayaze bishvil tovat Yisrael.
But even though that it is in essence good for us, the Torah is in essence, it is good for us. But the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael was not for the sake of our good, of our benefiting from it.
Oh, that the giving was not. Oh. Okay, let me go on. Rak, the Gezerah, Kimo Melech, She Gozer, Gezirotav, Alavadav, Le'ol Alehem.
The giving of the Torah, initially, the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael was not for the sake of benefiting Klal Yisrael. It was rather only the Gezer was a decree. It was a decree. It was decreed that we have to have the Torah. We have to be given the Torah. It's like a melech. It's like a king that decrees laws upon his subjects to subjugate them. The king is declaring laws upon his subjects in order to subjugate them. So the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael is to subjugate us. Happens to be that there'll be benefits, but the giving of the Torah was not because of the benefits to be received.
Okay. I guess we got up to 10.
Yeah, we continue on.
Okay, v'ata yesh lishol achar shehu yitbarach Rav Chesed. Some Shemot, I guess.
And now, here's to ask a question. If you don't have any other questions about what we've been saying so far, there's a question that the morale is going to ask. Any questions up to what we've been saying so far? Any questions on what we've discussed so far?
I don't know that I understand it enough to ask a question.
Okay. All right.
I don't follow the logic at all. The Torah, because Hashem created the Torah, he has to give it to the Jews. Why? I don't see the connection.
I'm thinking that there are reasons, but not as we understand them. But these reasons are not in this world, and we are unable. We don't have the language or the concepts to translate these heavenly regions to be understandable by us in this Olam Haba.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, but so what's he trying to do then? If we're not able to understand, then what's he trying to accomplish?
So let me try and maybe put it in perspective like this. Let's say you've got a very rich, very rich person. He's got infinite wealth, infinite resources, right? There's nothing that can't be done. These are more than you can ever imagine, in all ways possible. And you want something done, right? So he hires a CEO. He hires a CEO and commands the CEO that this is what needs to be done. These are his responsibilities, and that's it. Now you're in charge. Now you're in charge. So the CEO has a lot of responsibilities, and but he also gets a lot of benefits. Gets a lot of benefits. Gets a salary, right? An expense account. He gets whatever he has and needs to do the job. He has and needs to do the job he gets. So, but all those benefits he's getting from that job are not because of the desire to benefit the CEO. The CEO was picked to do this job because the job had to be done. A certain thing had to be accomplished. So Kadosh Baruch Hu likewise, as Roy said, for reasons that are quite beyond us, Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create this universe, wanted to create this existence. For this existence to function, there has to be Torah. And that means there has to be a CEO, and Klal Yisrael was picked to be the CEO. And just like the CEO has certain advantages and benefits, right? And it's definitely good to be the CEO, right? Because of those benefits and advantages, but he was not given that position in order to benefit himself. Likewise, Klal Yisrael was not given the Torah that they should benefit from it. There are definitely benefits from it. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. But the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael is because the Kadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, wanted a CEO, and we are that.
Okay, I understand what you're saying about the CEO not benefiting. But he needs to be qualified. And if he doesn't do the job properly, then he's going to get fired. So, and we see that we do have consequences when we sin. We talked the other day about the Holocaust. So what we're saying is that Hashem didn't choose the CEO because of anything, but there's a cause and a purpose. Okay, I understand the purpose. That's the CEO has to do the job. He has to run the company. But I don't understand the idea of the cause. How is the cause different from a reason?
Well, again, we had two things. The moral said there's a siba and a tachlis. There's a cause for it. There's a cause for it happening, and there's a purpose for it to happen. They're two different things. One's the cause, something's causing this to happen, and there's a purpose, meaning related to the fact that there's a cause of this thing happening. It's happening because of some purpose behind it.
Right. So the purpose, I understand. The Torah says that it has to be given to the Jewish people. But what, I don't understand what the cause is.
All right, so don't forget, we're only, this is the first of three things. He said there are three things involved here. We're still in the middle of the first of the three things. So give him a chance. Hold on. So let's see. Let's continue on with paragraph number 10. This now the morality says he's gonna present the question based on what we've presented till now. He's gonna present a question on this. Now there is to ask the question.
Okay, so Achar Shehu Yitbarach Rav Chesed, and that's from Shemot. It's the 13 attributes of mercy, right?
Right, one of them, yes.
Okay, well, that's the first one, I guess, Rav Chesed, maybe. Okay, Lama Natan Ol Torah Aleinu.
So that's right. A general question. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is infinitely merciful. Okay, so Lama Nasan Ol Torah Aleinu. Why did the Kadosh Baruch Hu place this responsibility of Torah upon us? Why do we have this responsibility? Right?
Oh.
You mean the responsibility of upholding the Torah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ostensibly, right.
Okay.
What's the connection between the chesed and the question? Why does Hashem give the Torah to us? Why is it mentioning the chesed first?
Because you have to start with the assumption that everything that Kadosh Baruch Hu is absolutely merciful. Okay, all the things that Hashem does are absolutely merciful things.
Right.
So we have to try and find the mercifulness in forcing us to keep this Torah of His.
Can we ask if not? If we weren't given the Torah, but we would just be like everybody else, would we? Would we exist? We may not even exist, as different nations are lost in history.
Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. Somewhat like what you say. Hold on, Ray. Let's see how the paragraph develops over here.
So
Okay.
Is it framing a question to say, since Hashem is abundant in chesed, why did He put the Torah's yoke upon us? Is that the question?
Basically, yeah. Basically,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Ve'ein all zeh l'tovat Yisrael.
Now, he's framing the question here that the all, the fact that it's an all is really, and because we say, as he said in the beginning of paragraph 9, the giving of the Torah to us was not for our benefit. So on one hand, we have an all, we have a tremendous responsibility, and correspondingly, it's not for our benefit. We're not to reap benefits from this responsibility.
Oh.
So based on these two statements, we have to fit this into the fact that Hashem is doing something merciful with us. Where's the mercifulness, the compassion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in giving us this all of Torah, which is in essence not for our benefit?
Okay. Let's see. Im lo nomar ikach gazar Hashem yitbarach kemo she sider habriya kol echad v'echad b'seder hara'oi lo.
So what does this mean? Im lo nemar ki kach gozer Hashem Yisborach. If you don't, if even lo nemer, if you do not say ki kach gozer Hashem Yisborach, if you don't say that this was the gezerah, so was Hashem gozer. And apparently you must say this was the gezerah, this was the decree of a Kadosh Baruch. That the Kadosh Baruch was decreeing upon us that we have to accept the Ol of Torah, even though that there is not in this Ol of Torah, the acceptance is not for our essence, for our benefit.
Oh,
Meaning again, like the CEO was not picked to have this job of being the CEO for his benefit. He was picked to do the job.
For no reason.
Let's leave the reasons alone for the time. But he was picked to do the job. He was not picked to do the job for his benefit. He was picked to do the job simply because he is the one to do the job. So but now if you say Hashem is merciful, so we have to see, well, where is the mercifulness in this election of Klal Yisrael to be the CEO? So you have to say, you're gonna have to say that Hashem was gozer, that that's the way it is.
okay.
Don't forget, Esau pulled out. Esau said nothing to it. I don't want this deal. Right?
Right.
Okay, let's continue.
I just lost my place. But
Second line, right? Im lo nemar
okay,
kach
Imlo,
goes Hashem Yisbarach.
okay. Kemo shesider habriya kol echad v'echad b'seder haroi lo.
In the gezerah of a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the fact that he organized all of existence, each and every thing within the matrix of existence, according to what was befitting for that thing itself. And each thing that Hashem created within the matrix of all existence, that thing as it exists is as it is because that is the state of perfection that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created it to be in.
Oh,
Does that include people?
Yeah, everything.
okay.
We're not in the state of perfection.
What's the leave free will out of this? We're not going into the ramifications and consequences of free will. Leave that out of the picture for a minute. That's not the.
Okay. Shalo Yishna Echad Mehem Sidro Shenatan Lekol Echad.
Right, they included in the Gezer of a Kadosh Baruch Hu in creating everything in its state of perfection within the matrix of existence was each and everything should not deviate at all from what it was given in its arrangement within this matrix of existence.
Okay.
Kamosha Tiknu,
Okay. Right. This is from Sanhedrin.
right?
Hoch.
More of Sanhedrin.
Yes. Hoch biz zaman natan lahem shelo yishino et tafkidam.
Kamosha Tiknu, as it was established in the Gemara and Sanhedrin. This is a pasuk, right? This is a pasuk. We say this in, I think, in Kiddush Levana when we say Kiddush Levana. Chok uzman lasan lahem shelo yishano es tafkidam. Chok, it's a involatile law, and time that was given to them, shelo yishanu tafkin, they shall not deviate from their mission, from their charges.
Oh, wow. Not deviate. Okay. That was from Sanhedrin. Okay. Let me go on. Ve'ein safek shechoch hazeh natan lachem b'gizera.
And there's no doubt that this involatile law was given to them as a decree.
Oh,
And when it says a decree, that's shorthand for saying that there's no reason.
No. It doesn't have to be without going into the reason. It's meaning it's a decree that can't be disobeyed.
okay. Shechach gazar Hashem yitbarach v'kach ba'atzmo natan Torah lYisrael. Okay.
So kach goes Hashem is brought. So Hashem was goyzer. Hashem decreed. V'kach ba'atzmo nasan Torah l'Yisrael, and likewise, HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, so to speak, gave the Torah to Israel. V'nasan lem chok, and he gave them this statute.
Ah,
Hem hukas Torah. Those are the statutes of the Torah.
What does it mean? But ba'atzmo, by himself. What does that mean?
Meaning the giving of the Torah to Klal Yisrael wasn't a what you would call a natural thing. It was there was Maimed Har Sinai. There was Klal Yisrael coming out of Mitzrayim and standing in Har Sinai, hearing the koilos and working the sounds, the shofars, the whole Maimed Har Sinai, where Kadosh Baruch Hu had Klal Yisrael accept the Torah by saying Nase v'Nishma, and nevertheless, that was given b'chok. It was a statute, a decree given to Klal Yisrael by Kadosh Baruch Hu himself. It wasn't something. It wasn't like Kadosh Baruch Hu decreed upon birds that they should fly. He didn't come to the birds and give them that aspect of existence. But Hashem gave the aspect of existence. He came to us, to Klal Yisrael, and gave us the Torah in a specific and a unique way. But nevertheless, no Salem Chok, it was still a Gezerah. Even though Hashem gave it to us in a very special way, it was still given to us as a Chok, something which could not be rescinded or deviated from or corrupted.
okay, and just finishing. Let's see. Hem chukot Torah kemo shehit barer b'chibor atiferet ba'arichot.
And this is as we explained in the Hebrew, the Sefer Tiferes Yisrael Barichos at length. Here we're just getting the very short summary of what he said in the Sefer Tiferes Yisrael. As I said, perhaps we could spend time looking at that after we finish this to see things as he explains things in more detail. But okay, that's wow, a little bit overtime on this. All right, we'll have to stop here. We finished paragraph 10, so that means on the beginning of the week we'll be learning from paragraph number 11. Okay, very good.
Yeesh, kayach.
All right,
Thank you.
good. We'll
Rabbi, Tiferes Israel, is there a English translation or of it somewhere?